there again. Okay, so I just did this video, and it was like 15 minutes long, and then I hit the wrong button, and it erased the whole thing. So let's try it again. I did a rant a couple of, like, maybe a week ago, and when I got done, I was filled with this awesome, like, motivated feeling. I wanted to get up and do things, and I thought, hey, this is a positive outlet. I should do this more often. So, I don't really have, like, a thing that I'm super mad about, you know, so this is just like a mini rant to see how it goes, see how it works. Okay, so I work at this place. I've been working there for 3.5 years, and I'm really good at my job, okay? I'm really good. And I'm not trying to be that person, but I'm good at my job. I'm a hard worker. I like my job. I like the people I work with, etc. And I've been trained in every aspect of the store, which makes me kind of valuable, because if anybody calls in, whether it's like janitorial staff or running the cash register or working in the bake shop, I can be called in because I've worked everywhere. So at the beginning of the year, what happened was January is our slowest month. Now, our store was recently taken over by a Canadian corporation, and they're doing things a little bit differently. Last year, in January, everybody had 3 days a week, including the supervisors. Everybody had 3 days a week for the slow season. For this slow season, what they're doing is they're giving the supervisors 5 to 6 days a week, and they're cutting the employees back to 1 and 2 days a week. Now, I've been working at the store, as I said, for 3.5 years. I usually work 3 to 4 days a week. They cut me back in January to 2 days a week. Now, I can't I can't pay my bills like that. And I'm wondering about the people who are getting one day a week, because I'm wondering if they're just living with their parents, or they're not paying bills, or what, that nobody really seems to be like, okay, I can't live like this. And so I was getting 2 days a week with the assurance that middle of February was going to bring Valentine's Day, and then the hours would go up. So I make it through January working 2 days a week. And in February, for 1 week, they gave me 3 days. I was like, yes, finally, right? And then they get their reports back, and it says that we hadn't met our projected sales for January. Even with cutting all the hours back, we still didn't meet projection sales. So what they did was they decided to cut costs. Okay, now to cut costs, what they did was they cut hours. The amount of hours that they were allowed to assign to employees, they cut back even farther. So people who were working 2 days a week, like me, started getting 1 day a week. And people who were working 1 day a week were either continuing to get 1 day a week, or they were just kind of put on call in case somebody called off. Now, I don't live extravagantly, okay? And I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't even pay my rent. I don't pay my rent. My mom pays my rent. God love her, she's amazing. But I do pay all my bills. I pay electric, I pay cable, I pay on my loans, and I pay hospital bills from an injury I sustained a while back. So I can't pay my bills working 1 day a week and getting paid bi-weekly. I can't. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to look for a second job. And I found one, working at this restaurant, and it's an amazing restaurant. The people are great. I love the food. I love the atmosphere. I had forgotten over the past 3.5 years how much I love waiting tables. I don't know why I love waiting tables. I just do. I love the restaurant atmosphere. I love the movement of it all, and I just always have. And I really did like being there. So my first day, I'm doing great, and it's awesome. Second day, I'm still training, but I'm taking tables basically by myself, while the person training me is just kind of watching and checking and making sure I'm doing everything okay. Now, I don't know if you know this, if you've ever waited tables, but when you're training, you don't keep the tips. The person training you keeps the tips, whether you did the entire table yourself or not. And I'm okay with that. I really am, because it's 2 days of training, and then, bam, you're on your feet. Now, I made this kid yesterday, I made him some awesome tips. Okay, I am a great server. I would make a great server. So anyway, I went in for my training, I did a great job, and I was told by the manager that that he was going to give me a set schedule, specific. I was going to work every single Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. every week, and that was my set schedule. So I went back to my first job to fill out a new availability form. To let them know, you know, because it's courtesy, to let them know as soon as possible when you're not available. So I go in and I fill out this availability form. I tell them I cannot work Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and that I would be willing from now on to work morning shifts on Mondays and Fridays and Sundays. And I'm looking at Saturday. I'm looking at this slot on Saturday, and I'm going, I'm definitely working 3 days a week at the restaurant, and hours are going to go up in the summertime. I don't want them to schedule me all 4 days that I'm free at my first job, because then I'm working 7 days a week. And you know, I do tend to go home to West Virginia, because I live in Chicago, and I tend to go home to West Virginia to visit every now and again. And also I do theater. Theater is my career. You know, I work at the store and I work at this restaurant to pay the bills, supposedly. um, you know, but theater is what I do. So I'm going to need evenings off, and sometimes I'm going to have to request off weekends. And so I fill out this availability form, and I'm looking at the Saturday slot, and I think to myself, you know, usually people request off Fridays and Sundays for religious reasons, and I'm not going to request off on Monday, because what am I going to do on a Monday? So I thought, okay, I'm going to add on there that some Saturdays, I made a little note, you know, this is not set in stone. If you need someone for Saturday, let me know, and I'll let you know if I'm free. But I decided that I wanted Saturdays off, so I wrote in that Saturdays I was not available. And on the bottom of this availability form, it says, in tiny little letters, it says that if your availability does not work for the management, they can ask you to compromise. And if you cannot compromise, they can ask for your voluntary resignation. So I go into the office, I'm trying to hand my availability form to the supervisor who actually makes the schedules. But sitting between me and that supervisor is our new-ish general manager. And she just takes the form from me, and she looks at it and she says, Kimmy, this is not going to work. I said, what do you mean? And she says, did you read the form? Did you see what it says? Oh, my phone's ringing. Hello, phone. We're going to ignore that call. Okay, so she says, this is not going to work. And, okay, so sorry, lost my train of thought because of the phone. She says it's not going to work because it's too much of a shift in my current availability. And I asked her what she meant, you know, so that I can try and compromise with her. And she says, we can't lose your availability on Saturdays. And I said to her, you know, well, if you read the little note that I put at the side, it's not set in stone. If you guys need someone for Saturday, you know, just call me and I'll let you know if I'm, you know, going to be at my other job. I lied a little. You know, going to be at my other job that day or not. And then there's this part of me in my head that's going, okay, you have not scheduled me on a Saturday in 2.5 months. Like, I can go into my kitchen right now and look at the calendar on the wall, and I can tell you when the last time it was that they scheduled me on a Saturday. So losing my availability on Saturday is a ridiculous argument. It's ridiculous. Because since the new year, since January 1st, 2013, I have only worked one Saturday, and it is March 20th today. So, anyway, I'm a little bit pissed about that. So then I go in and I go into the restaurant. Oh, be quiet, phone. I go into the restaurant yesterday to continue training, and the manager comes over to me and he says to me that as I recall, when I came in to apply for the job, he told me that they weren't hiring, and then he called me like 2 days later. And I said, yes, I remember. And he says, well, it's because it was getting warm outside, and I thought I was going to be able to set up the patio, because we needed a server for outside. But then it got cold again. And he's not kidding. It's like, it is frigid outside. Frigid. Nobody's going to be eating outside. So he says to me, I'm not trying to cause a problem, because you're a great server and you're going to be great for this restaurant, I can tell. But right now, nobody's making money if you're coming in, because we have like 3-4 tables, and we've got the server, and then we also have the busboy, and we also have the bartender, and you have to tip out. So if he's saying, if you are on the floor as well, nobody's making any money. Can I call you in 2 or 3 weeks when I do open up the patio and we have kind of a consistent warmth thing going on? And I said, yeah, sure, and I say that because I understand, because it makes perfect sense to me. And it's not until like after I say that it's perfectly okay that I kind of realize that it's very possible that my first job is going to ask for my voluntary resignation. And now I'm not going to be working at this restaurant for at least another 2 to 3 weeks. And it's hitting me that I'm at this level of poor that if I hadn't found the humor in it, I'd probably be like depressed. But I can't, for some reason, I can't be mad. I can't be mad. I can't be frustrated. I can't be depressed. And I want to be. I want to, like, just cry my sad eyes out. And I want to be angry. And I want to be frustrated. But I've reached this level of, like, I will never, ever believe, ever, that it can't get any worse. Okay. I hate being in this position, and I hate the idea that there are other people in this position and then way worse. But I tried to put it in like a metaphor analogy thing for my friend last night, that you're a cartoon person and there's a cloud that appears over your head. And you're like, oh crap. You start walking faster, and then it starts to like sprinkle a little bit, and you're walking faster. You're looking for some kind of like cover, or to try and find an umbrella, or a friend, who will like help cover you. And then it just starts downpouring, and you're still running, and you're running, and you're running, and you finally just reach this point where it's like there is no cover, there's no umbrella, and you just sit down and you let the monsoon happen. You just let it rain, and you just sit there and you accept it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm at a place where it's like, well, what am I going to do? I can't control it. I can't fix it except for to go back to my first job and be like, ha, just kidding, for the next 3 weeks. And then do the whole thing over again. Fun dance. But even then, I'm still only going to be working 1 to 2 days a week at my first job. Still not going to be able to pay my bills, etc. So my social calendar is wide open. So very wide open. Sorry, this would be so depressing if I hadn't found the humor, and I'm finding the humor, and I'm doing some artistic-y things that cost me no money because, I'm basically just scrapping things together that I have already. So that's my rant. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what this video is going to solve, but I'm hoping that it'll at least make me feel better. And I do. I feel a little bit better just getting it out there. And if you're out there and you're, struggling right now, and you're mad or you're frustrated or you're depressed, My advice to you is just to sit down and let the monsoon happen, because there's nothing you can do to control it. There's nothing you can do um, to make it not shitty. Um, you just have to let it ride, I guess, and it'll either get better or you're gonna drive yourself crazy, trying to make it better. So don't do that. Uh, I really hope that anybody who sees this is not in the same position as I am, and I'm really hoping that things get better because I'm a hopeful kind of person. But I'm just kind of letting it ride right now. So yay! Economy sucks.